So I made a video last week about the future of Brian Branch in Detroit, and it got a lot of pushback. You guys weren't happy about it. I saw some comments about, it being clickbait and all of this other stuff. And I think it's a legitimate conversation. And we just found out from Dan Campbell that Brian Branch has had surgery to repair the Achilles injury that he received just a week ago, not even a week ago. And the question was asked about a possible, has he had surgery? The answer was yes. Yes. What could be the timeline? And at first I thought Dan was going to avoid it, but he gave a generic statement, which is what we looked up last week, between 8 to 12 months. So here is the take that I wanted to put out there. And I was going to do an overreaction segment, but I lost time. I haven't done one on Lion Syndicate. So I'll kind of do an overreaction topic here. And that way, you guys, if you push back in the comment section, give me some leeway at least. But I think it's a legit conversation. Is it an overreaction to say that Brian Branch has played his last game as a Detroit Lion? I'm going to let you sit on that for a minute. Is it an overreaction to say that Brian Branch has played his last game as a Detroit Lion? Is it an overreaction? I don't think it's an overreaction just because of the injury. I don't think it's an overreaction. Do I think that that's going to happen? I don't, because if he comes back in eight months from now, he's ready for preseason and he'll play, get his legs under him. 12 months from now, he's ready for the last home stretch of the season, right? Let's say it takes 12 months for his 21-day window to even open. Best case scenario, he's back for the playoffs. So is it an overreaction? It's not a real overreaction. It depends on the recovery. Because if he's out for 12 months, that literally puts him into December. Now you have to say, okay, well, maybe his 21-day window opens in late November or the middle of November or whatever the situation. But is it an overreaction? I don't think it is. What I do think is going to happen is whether or not he plays in 2024 or not, because it's a real possibility. Who knows? I mean, I'm not trying to wish any evil or complications on the guy, but there could be. We saw what happened to a certain quarterback in Cleveland, right? So complications could happen. Things could go wrong. It could be some cleanup surgery. Something needs to. So you've got all those kind of intangible things that could happen. But even if he didn't play in 2026, I think Brad is going to re-sign him. Because what Brad has done is if you have lost out on something to injury, it seems like he's going to bring you back. He's going to give you at least one opportunity. We saw it with Davenport. We saw it with Mosley. We've seen it with a ton of folks, a ton of people that Brad has brought in. We saw it with Levi. Levi was another example, right, of a guy that has battled injuries. And I fully expect it to be the same with Josh Paschal and the same with Brian Branch. So I don't think, but I mean, now if this injury would have happened in preseason or September, then it would be different. But if he takes the full 12 months to recover, I mean, it could be possible. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I also don't think it's an overreaction to say that he played the last game. Okay, so Duncan says, I sure hope not. Look at Hutchinson injured last year and written off. Brian needs 3 months, man, minimum. No, I think he needs a little bit more than that. There's no way people think he will be gone. I don't know. It's not just you. Brian Branch more than likely will not be back. I always take notes at the doctor's office. Let me see. Brad won't get rid of Branch. We kept Martin, Levi, Davenport, Josh Hooker, and a host of other injured non-productive players. Branch will be a discounted contract. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how I think that things are going to go. That's why I said, would it be an overreaction? I don't think it's an overreaction, but I also don't think that he's going to be gone because of how Brad does things. Brad has been healthy literally up until this point. He's not injury prone. Yes, he is not injury prone. I don't know who said that he was, but he's not injury prone. Do you realize money is a big factor in a lot of stuff? Schiff, yes. That's why it probably will have to be a team-friendly deal. Like, and I'm thinking, I mean, okay, so you sign Brent. Let's say, best case scenario, he's back for preseason, right? Training camp. I mean, right now, 8 months from now is literally August, right? So he's back for the preseason. That is best case scenario. Worst case scenario, he misses the whole year. In between, let's give him November. Let's say in between is Aleem McNeil time frame. Like, he comes back whenever Aleem McNeil came back, because they almost got hurt at the same time. And Aleem was a knee situation, right? So let's give him November-ish. All right. He finishes the season. What contract would you give Brian Branch heading into 2027? What do you think would be a fair contract? How many years? How much money? How much guaranteed? They should flex the, okay, let me see. Schiff says, true, Derek. I think he will get his payday elsewhere. Let me see. I think he's earned a contract as well. So Cordell believes that in 2.5 years, Brian Branch has earned a contract. Okay, so what would you guys give him? Schiff disagrees and says, no, he hasn't. So here's where I'm at. Brad Holmes has to make a lot of decisions next year. Now, thankfully, Brian Branch, well, not thankfully. Brian Branch was a decision that he had to make. Now, he doesn't. He doesn't. And unlike Aiden Hutchinson, if Brian Branch is not ready to start the season, we probably won't see an extension. But if he heals great and he plays, he's ready to go in August, then we can see the same type of situation that we saw with Aiden Hutchinson, where he got hurt. He was able to start the season. He put in the work. Brad signs him, right? Extends him. We could see something like that. My thing is if he can't go. But now, does this mean that Jahmyr Gibbs is priority number one? We've already discussed that. Then you have the Jack Campbell deal that has to get done. Then, to me, you got to make a decision between Sam Laporta and Brian Branch. And with the injury to both of them, you don't know. To me, it might be a situation where whoever's kind of first, it might be a race to whoever can perform, because if you want to lock up Sam before his contract, expires, and then you let kind of Brian Branch show what he can do before you extend him. And somebody mentioned, like, people are not the same after Achilles injuries. That's what they mentioned. And I know I had mentioned, I had compared him to Emmanuel Mosley, and everybody was like, it's an ACL. And okay, he was an injury. It was a season-ending injury involving the leg. All right. So he still had to come back. Those injuries you're done for the season. It takes you 6 to 12 months to recover from those type of injuries. Aleem McNeil, it took him about 11 months to get back. From the injury to coming back, it took about 11 months, 10.5 to 11 months. So if we do that for Brian Branch, and we say 10.5 to 11 months, we're looking right at Aleem McNeil time. So I don't think he's played his last game, but what happens after this? Do you think, let me ask you this, and I'll leave this up to the comment section. Do you think that with all the contracts that the Detroit Lions need to do, the fact that we have 38 players under contract, I think it's 38, that we only have 5 under contract for the D-line, do you think that Brad should make Brian Branch a priority? Meaning, do you think he should do it or just wait? Because I think this injury it really changes things from a contractual standpoint, because there are other things that need to be done. And unfortunately, you need to see how Brian Branch is going to return. And if he can't get back until mid to late November, is his first 2 years, 2.5, and the last 6 weeks of his last year, is that enough for Brian to earn an extension with everything else you have to do? And if so, how much are you willing to give him? So do I think he's played his last game? If everything goes well with his injury recovery, then no, I don't. But is it overreaction? I don't think it is, because you never know what complications could happen. You don't know if he's going to return in a year. He could be back in 8 months. He could be back at 12. Look at what happened to Levi. We thought he was good to go and he wasn't. So I don't think it's an overreaction, but I also don't think it's going to go that way.